Adam is placed in the garden with a job. The job was to tend it and to keep it. Those two ideas stick closer than you can possibly imagine. To tend is to cultivate, to bring something out of what's already there. To keep is to guard it, to take responsibility for it. Man is both builder and protector, creative and watchful at the same time. I can't help but feel like this is a blueprint for manhood. And here's where we usually take a wrong turn. We automatically jump to the fall, and we define Adam by his failure. We talk about the fall like it's the only thing that matters, but we don't know how long he lived in that garden before that moment. We don't know how many days he spent learning, shaping, naming, growing into the role as he was given. And we definitely don't spend much time talking about what happened after, because Adam didn't quit. He didn't lay down in the dust and say, "That's it. I've ruined my life. I quit. I give up." He stepped into a harder world than he could possibly ever imagine, and he kept going. He worked the ground. He raised a family. He loved his wife. He lived a life on the other side of failure. That part gets overlooked all the time, but it shouldn't. Now let me bring you back to this piece for a minute, because I'm shaping this bowl, and that knot, it just won't go away. I can cut into it. I can shape around it a little bit, but the reality is I can't erase it without losing too much of the piece. So I make a decision. I go as far as I safely can, and then I leave it. Not as a defect, but as part of the story of this bowl. When I turn these bowls, I'm not just shaping a bowl. I'm telling a story. I'm telling the story of a tree. I'm telling the story of a board. I'm telling the story of myself. When I work these pieces, I can't help but think about God, myself, and how I fit in God's plan. So I decide to build a rim around it. I decide to let this knot become a feature instead of a flaw. And in the end, once that oil hits it, I don't think it's going to ruin the piece. I think it's going to give it character. I think it's going to give it the weight that I want it to have. I think this piece might be another representation of who I am. I think in the end, when you look at the knot and the rim and this whole bowl, I think it's going to tell you that this thing came from somewhere real, somewhere with purpose. And I think this is where a lot of men get stuck. Not out there somewhere, but right here in this quiet place when nobody else really sees it.